Today on this edition of my channel, we're going to talk about the second trucking company that I was with previously, Navajo Express. Coming right up next. But before we get to that, gotta drop another throwback joint for you all. Another old school, classic, hip hop, smooth joint. I'm sure most of y'all know who they are, a dynamic duo back in the day, the 80s and the 90s, so to speak. That is, ladies and gentlemen, Kid and Play. Give it up from y'all. Oh yeah, feels good. Damn sure good. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in today. Gotta rock my hometown city. It's where I'm from. It's where I'm from. Want to give special shout outs to once again, my new subscribers. Just love getting shout outs, man. This whole networking thing means a lot. You know, it's all about helping each other out, giving good advice, positive, good energies, good vibes. So, shout outs to Mr. 18 Down, keeping it real 100 experiences, keeping it 100 experiences, and Alex Express. So those that were tuned in last week on Honey Badgers 101, aka Honey Dip live feed, I appreciate that, y'all. Once again, another week delay in for me. As I mentioned in the last video, briefly, me starting the security officer gig is taking the fire out of me because the schedule is from Sunday through Thursday, from 9:45 from 9:45 p.m., 9:45 at night till 5:45 in the morning. Then I'm sleeping half the day, so, you know. But I'm still here. I'm still here with y'all. Y'all still here with me. Bear with me. I'll bear with y'all. And definitely I'll still be putting more videos out when I can. And might do live feeds twice a week or something, or we'll just see where it goes. So just build a channel, build you all's channel. Hey, we're here to build everybody's channel. Those with us that are YouTube newbies, YouTube filming newbies on here. Hey, it's all good. All right, Navajo Express, the previous trucking company that I was with the past 2 years, from September 2016 to December this past year, 2018. Is this a good company to work for? For rookies that want to know any other trucking companies that are out there to, you know, do homework on and decide if it is a good fit for them or not. So, coming off the heels of Swift Transportation for my termination the week before Thanksgiving in November of 2015. As I was heading out west, I first started seeing Navajo trucks out there. I had not heard of it. That was the first time me seeing them or hearing about them. And pretty sure other drivers out there, you know, the same thing. And now starting to know about them the past 2 years when I was there. So, oh boy. So, my mother also told me about them to go apply. And so I picked up the phone, or I put in an online application. Recruiter calls me, say, when can you start? I said such and such. So I go there following Monday on the crack hound, all the way to Denver. The headquarters is in Denver, Colorado, the corporate office. Show up for orientation. Oh, orientation. The hotel, when they put you in the hotel, this is a orientation relief. No roommate. They do not pay you with a roommate like the mega carriers, Prime, JB Hunt, Swift, them do. So, rookies, you got one good and cool advantage, and when you come to Navajo, you do not have a roommate when you're there. And that's also when you upgrade to a truck and you broke down there at the, when when your truck is in the shop there at the terminal, when they put you in a room, again, you have your own room. Nobody, no other guys in there with you. So you don't have to worry about, hygiene, whatever. I mean, you still got to deal with, a mentor when you still fresh out of trucking school with any company, Navajo, Swift. But I'm saying as far as roommating in the hotel with Navajo Express, it's your own room. You got your own room, and so you do what you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. You have your own privacy. So yeah, come to orientation, and I had about 13, 14 people. I had about like a huge class. People in my class. Ooh. And the facilitator at that time, she's still there. She's just now safety as of the past year, I want to say. So, sweet lady, very, very sweet young lady, introduced us to the company, what the company's about. I think they've been in business since 1950. I'm not pretty sure, but they've been in business for a long time, like Swift has, as a family-oriented company. I can give you the links and stuff in the description box so y'all can look it up for yourself. It don't matter, but they're 80-90% refrigerated company. Owner and founder, chairman of the company his name is Don Digby Sr. Elder gentleman, nice guy, seemed like a nice person. He actually started his company by using his last name, Digby. And since then, it's been Navajo, like the base from the Indian reservation out in Arizona and all that. I forgot what it was when I was doing the research, but yeah. So, but since then it's been Navajo Express. He has children, a son and a daughter. His son is the president. He's currently still president. He was president when I started and was there those 2 years, and he's still currently president. His son's Don Digby Jr., or he just goes by Junior, or his dad, you just call him Senior, go by Senior. Depends on how well you know him, but yeah. So Don Digby Jr., his son, is president of the company, president of his dad's company, of his dad's empire, and his daughter, or the son's sister, she's not there at the company. She had left way before I even started there. From what I was told by Jarvis there, that she actually is at Swift corporate office in Phoenix. Her name is Becky Digby, and her face is the symbol. And I'll put that in the thumbnail for this video. But her face is or was on the company trucks that they have. But this past year, they started to slow that down and put map with a bow and arrow through it. I think meaning because of them now being like a mega carrier, so to speak. Like I said, now most of the people out there know who they are, showing themselves as what it says, like, like take it over, like, So, orientation, the company, how it's set up, the street that it's on, it's divided up. One side of the street is the office, the corporate office and dispatch room and all that. Then the other side of the street is the yard. The yard, the driver's lounge, the guard shack to the yard, the driver's lounge, the shop, bays, the wash shop, bay, and a body shop. So you got all this to your advantage to use when you're there. They're 100% or 80-90% refrigerated company. Well, they do reefer stuff. And the facilitator giving us a grand tour of the facility on both sides of the street. First, walking downstairs to the dispatch room, and at the time, that's where Junior's desk. Well, they move around a lot with their desk and stuff. Everybody in that office, corporate office. But Junior's desk at that time was downstairs in the dispatch room, I think. Or he was walking nearby, or he got up and introduced himself to all 13, 14 of us in the class. And he also seemed like a nice guy, cool dude, laid back. And he said, welcome to our company, welcome to our company. Hope you enjoy your time here, so on and so forth. Then we go to their break rooms over there in the corporate office that are downstairs. The front desk, they have a lady who, she's currently still there, I think, who, I guess she's been working there for years, but she's a nice lady where when you come into the building, you have to sign in and sign off on this visitor sheet, and the time it's like when you go into a business establishment, like for an interview, you got to sign in or something and things like that. But when you checking in the shippers and receivers, you got to sign in and stuff. So yeah, they have a sign-in clipboard when you come in there and so on and so forth. But yeah, she works the front desk. She's like the receptionist lady who answers the phone calls through the telephone line. So I can give you that telephone line to y'all now if y'all are interested, instead of waiting towards the end of this video since I'm already talking about it. It is area code 303-287-3800. Again, that's area code 303-287-3800. And just give them a call and just follow the prompts, because it's an automated hotline phone system. And the last time I dialed it, Junior's voice was all over the call system. Like he recorded his voice, on the phone line. But normally it's a woman that still works over there, another woman that does that. But yeah, so that's their telephone number to the company. So they have other multiple, like a 188 number or something like that. But yeah, so then we walk across the street over to the lounge or guard shack, and we meet, or over to the shop and meet one of the shop guys, and they instruct us on how a reefer unit works, how to operate the reefer, and this, that, and the third. And we're being fed, every day. It's a 3-day orientation, Monday through Wednesday, or if you miss that, you come the other half of the week, Wednesday through Friday. And then once you complete all of that, then however much experience you have, I think within that you need 6 months or more of experience. So I told them I had 5 months of experience with SWIFT, and when they wanted to know what happened with SWIFT, because that was on my DAC, termination and stuff. And I told them, violations, so and so, hours of service, speeding ticket, whatever. And they said, okay, well, they have you put in 3 phases. Either your phase 1, which is fresh out of trucking school, 5 to 7 weeks out with a trainer. Phase 2, I think, is like 3 to 4 weeks out with a trainer if you, have minimum experience, or phase 3 is 2 weeks out with a trainer. So with the experience I had, 5 months under 6 months. So, oh, so tired. I don't know why. I just got up, but 6 months. I mean, yeah, 6 months of experience is more is what they need. So when I only had 5 months. That phase 3 is where they were going to put me at. So for 2 weeks. So training I was supposed to have was under a load, or he was all the way out in Ohio. So they got me another trainer to replace him. And this guy, he had poor hygiene. And not only that, he has that sleep apnea machine. That's what I first heard about, sleep apnea machine, when taking the training tests and stuff on the computer in there in the office. So he has a Peterbilt, a PB truck. I don't know what the model is, but yeah, it's a PB company truck. And his dispatcher, or his DL, his driver leader, DM, driver manager, runs the crap out of him. Well, he was running the crap out of us when we were teamed up as a mentor and student. He has him running the Northeast, anywhere around the country, and needing help whenever drivers are broke down or trying to go home, and calling us to say, can you do this load for me? Can you do this load for me? Can you do this load for me? Foreign guy he's from Russia. So, but moved to the States however long ago. But yeah, he really runs the crap out of any of his drivers that are on his board. I wasn't on his board when I upgraded, but yeah, he was running the crap out of us. Or we were running mentor student operations. So, and then when I finally got off the guy's truck, then me doing my final road test from my first road test with the same local driver who tests us. He's a local. He's a local driver there. He tests you on the pre-trip, the back, the backing in the yard and stuff. Or that's backing when you come back from your road test. So I'm driving in the city of Denver, and pass all of that, upgrade to my first truck. So my first truck, the trucks they have in their fleet, or the primary truck they have in their fleet is the K-Dub T680. Secondary is the PB. Third, the Rump Shaker, Cascadia. And then fourth, ProStar, International ProStar. Fifth, they got rid of them when I was there. But once I got in the truck, my first truck, they had older Volvese. The Volvese, yeah. Volvese. Loshan, he said this in an older video during his early YouTube stages when he was teamed up with Trucker, or before he teamed up with Trucker Brown. But always said nicknamed or gave the Volvo its nickname. Well, yeah, the Volvese. So they were shipping those Volvos out. But yeah, I was put in a K-Dub T680. And the truck, it wasn't in the yard. It was in Birmingham, Alabama at the K-Dub dealership, at the Kenworth dealership. So they flew me. This was my first time in any trucking company to them fly me out to where the truck is. Normally they do that with leasing drivers and owner operators. So not really company drivers, but so special treat to fly out quickly to go get it, to go pick up the truck. So there's other two. They have 3 West Coast terminals. The main office is in Denver, Colorado. The second one is in Salt Lake City for their Costco account, which I was playing coming up in part 2 of this. And then the third terminal out west is in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, it's a suburb town called Towson, it's a suburb west of Phoenix off of I-10. So, but yeah, they flew me down to Birmingham, so I had to fly through Denver on Southwest, connect down to Houston Hobby International Airport, and then, well, Houston Hobby Airport, and then from Hobby all the way up to Birmingham to go pick up the truck. Well, stay in another hotel room by myself for another night, which they provided me with. They provided me with the cash advance, you know, for getting something to eat, cab, and all that stuff. And yeah, so stayed there, Birmingham for one night. Go the next day to the dealership, which the dealership offered to have a shuttle van come pick me up and go get the keys off the counter and hop into the truck. So see y'all in the next video. Well, part 2. Alright, welcome back to the channel. So, as I was discussing me upgrading to my first truck, picking it up from the Kenworth dealership in Birmingham, Alabama. So, got in the truck. Truck was dirty, it wasn't clean. And this is a used truck. It's a 2016 T680. And of course I had to clean it out. There was screws and stuff everywhere, and I don't know if it was the dealership that did this or the last driver who had the truck. Well, the last driver who had the truck brought it there for home time for emergency reasons, so they had me go recover it. So that truck I was in for maybe probably 5-6 months at least. I got my first load in that truck right there from the dealership that was picking up in Jackson, Tennessee, a frozen food warehouse with fish, seafood, going up to Darien, Wisconsin at Americo. Got my first DM, which I met the day of my upgrade at the corporate office in Denver. I met in person. Now, that was the first time me meeting a driver manager, a driver leader in person, because I never met any of my 2 driver leaders when I was at Swift. I only got messages over the Qualcomm at that time, introducing themselves and calling me over the phone and stuff, but never actually seeing them in person, never seeing their face. So my driver leader, he was a nice guy, a cool, laid-back guy. I'd say, almost about a year in when I had the truck, he was no longer with the company. So since the 2 years that I was there, I had gone through 10 different driver leaders. 10 different driver leaders. And like what the heck is going on? Because every time I had gotten a message over the Blue Tree, that's what they were using, the Blue Tree, not the Qualcomm. Well, the Qualcomm was in the first truck that I picked up in Birmingham, but when I brought it back to Denver, a load I was going back to Denver way, and the truck had a breakdown or needed to be fixed. They yanked it out in the shop and put the Blue Tree system in there. The Blue Tree, that's just another computer system that they introduced when I applied September of that year, 2016. During Drivers Appreciation Month, they introducing to us how it works and everything. The only difference with it is, unlike the Qualcomm, your hours of service that counts down from the time you start your clock. Well, the Blue Tree system, it counts up when you start that clock. So, and in hours of service, like 8 hours Now the 8 hours on the Blue Tree, it'll count down just like on the Qualcomm. But the 11, 14, and 70 on the Blue Tree, they count up instead of down. And the 30 minutes counts down instead of up. So those are the only differences between the two computer systems. But so yeah, 10 different DMs, and they all either left or got terminated for such reasons. And I was in a total of 3 trucks at that company. The final 2 was by the time I got to Atlanta. Now they opened up a terminal in Atlanta June of this past year. And I actually was on the fleet twice. The first time was fall of 2017 when they opened up a Southeast Regional route or run, for drivers who live in the Southeast, like me at the time living in North Carolina, to get home more often. But no terminal yet. They were still scouting for a terminal. Well, that wasn't until June of this past year. They found a spot from an old extra lease yard or property in Conley, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, and opened it up for business, and so now it's Navajo property. So, but I got back on that account fall of this past year. So the other accounts that Navajo has as a refrigerated carrier is mostly, they mainly haul as meat loads. So when you go to and out of Denver, along, like you're going to the lanes that you'll be running, mainly, number one, mainly it would be I-70, because that stretches and goes right in and out of Denver, I-70 east and west. So the meat patches, that to be exact, are in Kansas. National Beef, that's one account we have. Smithfield, National Beef, Smithfield, Tyson, JBS, cattle, beef, meat, beef, ham, chicken, all those plants we pick up in Kansas, Nebraska, and other states that have a processing plant for meat, livestock, and stuff. And we take those loads. These are preloaded loads. These are preloaded trailers. So all we're just doing is bringing an empty trailer from the terminal, from Denver, and dropping it off. And if the load is ready, or if it's not, then you're sitting and waiting. Not usually that long. Usually the load, most of the time, is ready to go right then and there, or right then, like within maybe an hour or so. It all depends. There's a window time for where it has to be ready, and a window time for the deadline of when it has to be delivered to the customer where it's going. So these loads could be going to the Northeast. Now, I was running OTR when I first started off with them. So OTR over the road, running the Northeast, close to New York City, Newark, New Jersey area. I went there several different times during the early months of 2017. Along with the end of 2016, going up there to deliver these National Beef, Tyson, JBS, loads to, it's called Newark Perishables in Newark, New Jersey. And, it's, of course, in industrial part of town, but in the neighborhood at the same time. And some of you might know where that is, or have probably been there before or not, but they do have somewhat overnight parking outside the property. And the earliest you can check in is like 5:30, until your appointment time for 6, 7 in the morning. You might be there for a little while, half the morning, depending on how many hours you got on your clock, or if you had no hours, until you can leave and get something else. So usually they ship me out there, and then they have a East Coast planner that works from home out of Ohio, somewhere I think around the suburb around the Columbus area, and gives you a load if you to backhaul out of the Northeast. So when they send you somewhere dispatch from the main offices, then a backup dispatcher or backup planner from their home, from the offices inside of their home, will backhaul you back west. So we run east and west most of the time than we would north and south hardly. If we hardly ever run north and south, it'll be along I-35, like Kansas down to Texas, or I-5 from Washington State down to LA, things like that, or I-25 from Cheyenne, back to Denver off of 80 if you're coming from Salt Lake, or if we're coming from Salt Lake. So the East Coast planner, she would book me loads usually right there next to Newark in a town called Edison, where they have Arizona. It's called Maplewood Beverages, but it's an Arizona tea distributing center warehouse, or they store or have or make the Arizona tea, or have it stored, and you just pick it up. This is dry goods going to grocery store distribution centers. DC's like Costco. It's Morris, Illinois, outside of Chicago, which I touched on in my last video. And then speaking of Costco, we run Costco or operate the Costco yard in Salt Lake City for our Salt Lake City terminal. Matter of fact, the Costco distribution center, for those that have been there before, is right behind the Navajo terminal up there in Salt Lake. We're out there in Salt Lake. And so I wasn't on the account, but I've done a few Costco loads for them whenever I was in the Salt Lake area, just to spread my wings a little bit, so I wouldn't be doing the same routes. Like every time, can I do something different? Like I get they get a change of scenery. So the actually Swift when I got the message through the Blue Tree system 2 years ago, Navajo sent a message to us about us taking over the Costco account in Salt Lake. And drivers outside of there said, yeah, because Swift lost that account. So that's just some facts that I thought I'd share. But, that was 2 years ago. But we still have that account in Salt Lake. We just don't have the rest of Costco throughout the whole country. That's what Swift still has. But from what I was told before my termination, that we're trying to acquire the Costco yard in Atlanta, Union City, Decatur area, Atlanta, because that's another area for Swift, or territory for Swift. And even I've been there when I was at Swift, picking up a Costco load, going to a Costco store in Greensboro, North Carolina. So, but when I was at Navajo, Costco loads that I've done from their yard, Salt Lake yard, was going to a Costco store in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and last time up to Montana, Billings, Montana. Now, especially up there, because I never been to that state. I never been to the state of Montana, OTR, when I was at Swift. I only did half the states with Swift. Now, the other states, Montana, I got check marked off when I was at Navajo. So the first time going up there and then coming out of there empty with pallets, that's your instructions from the Navajo dispatchers that do Costco loads, or dispatch their drivers that are on the Costco account in Salt Lake, to have you bring those trailers. These are dry van trailers. Back to the Costco yard. The dry van trailers that they do Costco, now they have some refrigerated trailers for Costco too at that yard, but mostly I see them pull out the dry vans for Costco account, and then some doubles and triples, which I don't have. My combination, I don't have any of the endorsements. Combination, hazmat, tanker, doubles, triples, none of that. So, but yeah, so running back and forth east and west, then they'll send you back to Denver, or send you to the Salt Lake market area, or the Phoenix market, every now and then, like if you're coming from Southern Cal. So the cattle along I-10, boom, straight over there in the Phoenix and Tulsa neighborhood, west of Phoenix, the Tulsa yard. It's a small yard, just like almost, well, the Salt Lake City yard is a little bigger, and Denver's yard is just regular size. So, but yeah, those are the main accounts that we pull from meat, and they drive we do. They're creating or attaining more accounts as we speak, or have since I was back on the Atlanta fleet Southeast when they opened up the terminal. Now we do Publix, Harris Teeter. This is throughout the Southeast. Publix is from Atlanta area down to Florida, which is Orlando, Jacksonville, Tampa, Deerfield Beach, which is South Florida, north of Miami. And as far as Miami goes, we don't run there yet. If they've already started that now, I don't know because I'm no longer there. But they said that it was in the works just prior to me being terminated. So, yeah, 3 different trucks, 10 different DMs, all men and women, had different approaches on the job. Some were nice or laid back. 2 of them were mean. A couple of them, try to deal with it and figure out safety. An old group of safety people that used to be there left, and then they got a new group of safety from the past year. I can tell you all this: people come and go at that company, in many companies, and they find themselves a better job or what have you, or from what people would say, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, or doesn't know how to, doesn't know how to operate or run a company. I don't know. It's all gossip. So that's pretty much everything about Navajo. And like I said, my termination was for my rollover, and I'm not going to elaborate on that anymore because that's already now been blown up and been shared. So the information is all there in the pudding. So but like I said, I moved on from that. I'm not looking back. It's all said and done. So again, shout out to Keeping It 100 for posting that. I do appreciate it though, because like I said, that was a life learned lesson for me. And this can happen to any of us out there who are still in the truck, and whatnot, because I didn't think I was going to see another day. So appreciate that. And I will see y'all next time. And as always, from my channel to your channel, salute.